Good morning, Tuesday, February 6, 2024. I'm holding up a book I just finished writing. Baseball's Best Hitters and Pitchers, Exceptional Players, 1871-2023. I take each individual year, starting with 1871, and I list the best baseball player for that year. And I go through every year and through 2023. Then I do the pitching, 1871, 2023. Available on Amazon, Ken Artizone, publisher. Baseball's best hitters and pitchers. This video, best baseball player of the year, 2000. We are done with the 90s. We just went through the whole century, 1900 through 1999. And now we're in the year 2000. Todd Helton wins it. And he just got elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. This summer, 2024, in Cooperstown, he will be enshrined. Todd Helton, does he deserve the Hall of Fame? Let's look at it. He won 5 categories the year 2000. Batting average, .372. Doubles, 59. Normally, doubles are like 30, 40, and the good ones get 50. He almost had 60, 59. Runs batted in, 147. Slugging, 698. And total bases, that magic number, 405. You get over 400 total bases, you're really, really good. Todd Helton. Darren Erstad had quite a year too. He had 240 hits. Woo! Sammy Sosa, home runs 50. Christian Guzman, triples. Darren Erstad had the singles. Jeff Bagwell, the runs scored. 152 runs scored for Jeff Bagwell. Woo, what a year that was. Jason Giambi had the on base and the walks, and Luis Castillo stolen bases. So 2000, an exceptional year in baseball. But I'm giving it to Todd Helton. Let's look at his year. 2000. 160 games, only missed 2. 580 at bats. 216 hits. 59 doubles. 42 home runs. 147 RBIs. 372 batting average. On base, 463. Slugging 698, and he gets the 405 total bases. What a year, what a line across the board. Did he win MVP that year? I mean, what a year. He did the 4 things I like for a certain year. What's that? 100 runs scored. He had 138 of them. 200 hits. He had 216. 100 RBIs. He had 147. And a 300 batting average. He had a 372. 405 total bases. Did he win the MVP? Let's look that up. What I'll do is I'll go to my Google. I'll put MVP 2000 baseball season. Who won it? All right, I'm looking it up. 2000. Oh man, Jason Giambi wins it? Are you kidding me? Jason Giambi Let's see, that's American League, National League. Jeff Kent. Jason Giambi in the American League. Jeff Kent, the National League. What? How did he win over Todd Helton? Let's look it up. Let's see what his year was. Jeff Kent, 2000. What did he do? He won the MVP in the year 2000. This is highway robbery. Must be that his team won the pennant. Because he had 196 hits. Helton had 216. He had 114 runs scored. Helton had what? 138. He had 125 RBIs. Helton had 147. And he had a 334 batting average. Helton had 372. And then he had 350 total bases. Helton had 405. Why didn't Helton win the MVP that year? He had better numbers than Jeff Kent. Across the board. See, Kent had 33 homers. Helton had 42, right? Let's see. 42. This highway robbery. Boy, these guys, these writers. That's a shame. Come on. Helton had better numbers than Jeff Kent. How does he not win the MVP that year? That's what you call highway robbery, and that's what you call stupidity on the writers. You got to look at the numbers. Now, if the team is winning more games, if the Giants were winning more games than the Rockies, is that why you give the MVP to Kent? It's probably what happened. It's a shame. What's going on here? All right, remember what I told you about? I like the 4 things that a player does. You get the 100 RBIs. You get 200 hits. You get 100 runs scored. And then you get over 300 batting average. Which player, here's a trivia question. Which player had all 4 of those categories, but the best numbers across the board in all those 4 for 1 year? Who do you think 100 runs scored, 200 hits more, 100 RBIs, and over 300 batting average? So take those 4, add up the numbers. Who had the highest number? Do you know who in history? I figured it out. Roger Hornsby did it. Out of all the 15,000 players in Major League history, the guy who had the best 4 numbers in those categories for 1 year, comparing it to all other players' years in Major League Baseball, National, American League, Federalist League, whatever, all the years, starting 1871 up to 2023. Roger Hornsby had the best number in those 4. And what did he do? Here it is. Hornsby 1 year had 141 runs scored. 141. He had 250 hits. He had 152 RBIs, and he had a 401. If you add those 4 numbers, that's 944. That's the highest I could find. Second place, Ty Cobb. He had 1 year he had 148. It's in the same year, this line. He had 148 runs scored. He had 248 hits. He had 127 RBIs, and he had a 420 batting average. That's 943. He fell 1 point shy of Roger Hornsby. Hornsby, I told you, had 944. Cobb, 943. Who's third? Babe Ruth. One year he had 177 runs scored, had 204 hits. The same year, 168 RBIs, and had a 378 batting average. That was 927. So that falls short of the 944 and the 943 from Hornsby and Cobb. And then the fourth guy that I found was Lou Gehrig. One year he had 143 runs scored, 220 hits, 173 RBIs, and 379 batting average. That's a 915. Those are the four guys that are in the 900s. Those four numbers across the board. And that's what I like from a Major League Baseball player. 100 runs scored. And Hornsby had 141. This is 1 year. 200 or more hits. Hornsby had 250. 100 or more RBIs. Hornsby had 152. And then a 300 batting average, or better. Hornsby had a 401. So you take Hornsby's 141, 250, 152, and 401. That is a 944 points. That's the best of all time. Rogers, Hornsby, Hall of Fame. And then Cobb came in second. He had 148 runs, 248 hits. So he's matching Hornsby in the runs and the hits. They're even right there. Where he fell short was that year was Cobb had 127 RBIs, whereas Hornsby had 152, and that's where he gained the points. But Cobb made up for it by having a 420 that year, and Hornsby had a 401, but he still fell short by one, because Hornsby has 944, and Cobb 943. How about that? And then Ruth had a 927, and then Gehrig had a 915. What do you think of that? Is that incredible? Just think, you have a year where all four of those categories you excel. I'm still kind of mad, though, that in the year 2000, Todd Helton did not get the MVP. Jeff Kent got it in the National League. In the year 2000, Kent had 138 runs scored. Very good. But Helton had 147. Right? Let me see. Let me do that. No. I'll do it again. In the year 2000, Helton had 138 runs scored. Jeff Kent had 114. Okay? Who's better? Helton, better, runs scored. Hits. In the year 2000, Helton had 216 hits. Jeff Kent had 196. That's 20 more hits for Helton. So Helton has beaten Kent in the runs and the hits. And then the RBIs. Helton had 147. Kent had 125. So he beats him there. That's three of them he's beat. Helton's beat Kent 3 times. Home runs. Helton had 42. Kent had 33. That's 4 times Helton has beaten Kent. You want another one? Doubles. Helton had 59. Kent, 41. That's 5 times he's beaten him. Batting average. Helton, 372. He played 160 games. Kent, 159 games. 334. That's 6 times Helton has beaten Kent. I got another one. Slugging. No, let's do on base. Helton, 463. Kent, 424. That's 7 times Helton has beaten Kent. Slugging. Helton, 698. This is the year 2000. Kent, 596. That's 8 times. I got one more. Total bases. Helton, 405. Kent, 350. Is that 9 times he's beaten him? 9-0. He beat him in runs scored. Helton beat Kent in the year 2000. Runs scored. Hits. Doubles. Homers. RBIs. Batting average. On base. Slugging. And total bases. And yet, Jeff Kent won the MVP. Go figure. All right, that's the year 2000. We're headed toward the year 2023 where we will finish all the players. And when we're done with that, we're going to start pitching. And we'll start with 1871 and we'll go all the way to 2023. Thanks for watching. I'm out.